Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to vlog my trip to DC. I'm going to the Christian World Arts for Stage and Film Festival. My film, The Redemption of Christian Filmmaking, is, I believe, nominated and going to be screened at the film festival. So I'm super excited about that. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go, and I decided that I wanted to vlog the trip. And we'll see how that will go because that is really outside of my comfort zone. And I'm gonna see a friend over there at the airport. Thank the Lord I have a friend going on this trip. And we're gonna go stay at a friend's house, a childhood friend of mine. So hopefully this trip will go well, and hopefully I can record the whole journey. So come along with me.
In Michigan, we don't get this kind of weather. I've never done this before.
I haven't either, can you tell? I guess we can talk about first impressions of DC. That's a good way to start. I remember literally walking out of the gate of the airplane and just like, wow. Like, I had this weird feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm in DC.
It almost felt
so
like,
crazy.
it felt like a dream to me. It didn't feel like real or anything.
And the trains, all the train stuff, the metro it's called, it's just so different. I've never been in a city train, so I was like, what the heck?
And it was so loud and stuff too.
It's very loud here. It's very, very loud. Cars, helicopters, planes, just people, buses, all of that. It's a very loud city. Then we came to see Marjorie, my childhood friend. She's letting us stay at her place, which is really nice. And then we literally started touring right after.
The Lincoln Memorial.
Yes, the Lincoln Memorial.
Around the tidal pool, we went to the, was it Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial?
Yeah.
Jefferson Memorial.
Yeah. A thing that I did not expect was everything was so spread out.
Yes.
So much walking. It was ridiculous.
Bring comfortable shoes, guys. Don't wear,
Yeah, don't.
No sandals, no fancy boots.
No boots.
Just wear tennis shoes.
Definitely no heels of any kind.
The Vietnam Memorial.
Yes. That was really,
the
really
Korean War
pretty.
Memorial was really powerful too.
That was powerful too, yeah.
We also hiked. So what we did was we went around the tidal pool. We're like, hey, let's go check out the White House. So we went all the way across, all the way over to the White House. And it was so disappointing. So I thought the White House was bigger. It seemed really small, really small. And there's this huge fence that's like 6 feet tall or something.
It's so tall.
Or 7 feet.
It came up ever since that day.
Yeah. And because of it, it makes the White House look like it's farther away and really tiny. It's just really hard to see.
It felt very uninviting. It felt it did not feel friendly. I was expecting I don't know. I don't even know what I was expecting. I guess I was looking for a connection of some sort because this is the White House.
Yeah.
Even everything else, all the statues of Jefferson and Lincoln. I was coming in thinking I would feel so patriotic and I did, but there's also this underlining sense of separation and
kind of feel like you just don't feel welcomed or something.
Yeah, you don't feel welcomed.
The disconnect.
There's a disconnect. Just something about it felt very sad. Like we weren't allowed to be patriotic. That's what it felt like, and it's just really I don't know. That was really sad for me personally. Also, we did not see the reflection pool.
Yes, there's no water.
There was no water. There was no water anywhere.
All the other monuments had water in them too, like the FDR one and the all the the Vietnam Memorial. I believe has water.
Yes, there's water.
One. And even some of the descriptions, they'll talk about the reasoning behind how they designed those memorials. and the water reflects this and
Yes.
this, and there's no water.
There was no water.
I can't get the whole picture of this whole artwork. You know, this,
it was disappointing. The only place that had water was the White House.
Yeah, it's the little fountain.
And then today we woke up pretty early and we went to go see the Washington Monument.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a big statue of George Washington inside, and then we went up this elevator all the way up to the top of the monument, and the view was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
The view was really cool.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. This is so worth it.
The only thing that wasn't cool was those windows. They were really dirty. I was like, why don't they take care of these things?
It's like kind of scratched up, dinged up or something.
Yeah. But we weren't able to stay long though, which was disappointing because we had a rush to get to the Spy Museum. We had an appointment over there. So then we literally like sped walk.
Yeah.
The 20 minutes to get to the Spy Museum, and we got there 4 minutes before 10.
Mm-hmm.
So we did really well. And it was super cool. That was like a highlight, honestly.
I agree.
The Spy Museum.
Welcome to the International Spy Museum. Your visit begins in the briefing center, where you will receive your undercover mission. Are you ready to enter the Shadow World? Enjoy your visit.
I wasn't ready for the Shadow World one. But it took us 5 hours to get through the whole thing.
We were like reading every sign. We're doing like every single like interaction, like exhibits. There's so many interaction exhibits there.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is I feel like some of it might be kind of geared towards like teenagers and young like middle schoolers, but I feel like it's something that adults can enjoy too and learn off of.
Kind of underwhelming. I was expecting something a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Wait, there's actually something over here.
There is?
Caught this. I was like, wait, what? Oh my goodness, I'm like a kid. Oh my goodness.
What is
And then
this?
people, you click that button, you're like, oh yeah, and then they see us. I got too loud, but yeah, this is so fun. Okay. Yeah, we made it.
I feel like we're in the vents.
Oh, how fun.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun.
I had no idea. Oh, it's so funny. And there was a lot of great videos all throughout, so you can like sit down and watch them talk about whatever the topic was. They went from individuals to events to big historical stuff.
To get to the why, we have to pull in signals intelligence, for example, emails, phone calls, and human intelligence, so that our slides can watch their slides coupled in trust. All this will help us understand the geopolitical context to get to the why and stop attacks from happening.
Honestly, anything you could think about spies is in that museum.
Yes.
They did not miss anything. It's all there. My only criticism was it was too much.
Yeah.
We were in there for 5 hours and it was great, but like by the 4th hour I was starting to
Me too. I was like,
it's so much reading.
Yes.
Like if you ever go, be prepared to read. Because like there's just so much information and so much to take in.
exhibits are so beautiful. Like I love it how it's not, you're not just reading a sign or seeing a poster about something, but I feel like you're kind of in it. Like you'll go in like, there's like this East Germany, section where it's all about East Berlin. And so you go walk through these buildings and they're kind of like rooms that kind of look like an abandoned building that's in East Berlin after World War II and the Cold War. And just, I like how everything is so immersive.
Yeah.
You're walking through it, you feel like you're in that feeling, that vibe, or that aesthetic, and really puts you in that place.
There's one where you could pick up luggage and feel how heavy this luggage, this bag was basically, because it was supposed to be a secret, like, what was it?
It was like a radio
thing in World War II, I believe.
And it was a woman spy that actually carried that. She carried it all throughout Paris. It was like 50
I think it was over 30 pounds.
30 pounds. Whoa.
It's so heavy.
It is.
Oh. So basically, you're allowed to lift it and feel what it was like. It was like, oh my gosh,
Like strong muscle
she
arms.
has like good arms, good shoulders, good core, good back. Like honestly, my favorite things was all the women's stuff. Like getting to learn about the women's spies from beginning of time to the end of to the present. You know, like I thought it was really interesting how women were able to be able to participate in all these different kinds of missions and stuff and what they did. There was this one video that talked about how, you know, in Hollywood, they stereotype female spies. But in actuality, that doesn't really happen. I mean, sure, they still use subduction sometimes in missions if they have to, but that's not all the time. There's so many other things like empathy and emotional intelligence and like other things women naturally have that guys don't, that we can be able to use in spy missions. And so a lot of these women were talking about that.
I really liked reading about the American Revolution and how spies were used in that. That was one of the major assets that George Washington had versus what King Charles III had in England. Is a kind of a David and Goliath moment. And so, yeah, the major thing about the American Revolution that helped us turn the tide in the war was really our espionage helped us, you know, win the war and helped to start a new country and have independence and stuff. So. And there's a sign that right when you walked in, it said the people who actually did the most work and who were the most successful spies were the ones that were never recorded or talked about in history.
Yeah.
Because if you did your job the best, that means that, you know, if you're not talked about whatsoever, that means you did your job the best. Because the biggest rule about being a spy is not to tell about, give your cover away, and it never happens, you know?
Gosh. But even though it was a lot of fun, that museum was a lot of fun, there was still this underlying like tension for me. Like it's just like, okay, why are you telling us all this? Because like you're talking about technology and phones and like all these different things, how you're able to find stuff and hear and like you're trying to get eyes on everything and everybody. And it's interesting how they're publicizing that, you know, especially with the cyber stuff. It's just like, okay, like, why are you telling us this? Because you're obviously saying we're watching you.
Yes.
Anyways, so that took us 5 hours. We both wanted to go to the Capitol and stuff, but we're both really tired now. It's been a long 2 days. My knee was hurting. Her feet were hurting.
Yeah, my feet were hurting.
Like, our bodies were like, please stop. We've been walking for so long.
So, like, we're gonna go to Capitol and all the tourists out there on Saturday.
So we have to push everything to Saturday because these next 2.5 days we're gonna be at the film festival. So, what are your expectations for the film festival?
Ooh, I'm guessing it's gonna be kind of like maybe around 200 people there. I don't know, maybe less than that. Because I feel like this is a first-time event.
Yeah, this is the first-year event for Christian World Arts for Stage and Film Festival. I think I said that right.
Yeah, you did, yes. Yeah, I feel like because there's not that many, because it's the first time, I feel like there's not going to be that many people there.
I'm sure it'll get more popular.
Exactly.
Because this is like the only, at least for me, I think this is the only Christian like film and theater festival. I think it's the only one that's like that in America. Currently right now I haven't found any others, which is the reason why I went, because I was like, oh, I love theater and film. I love, like, yes, finally somebody understands that they're two great platforms that should be together and mixed and you know it's celebrated and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm personally really looking forward to seeing how they incorporate theater and film together. How is that going to work with the speakers and the workshops and the films that are going to be shown. And we're also going to see a play tomorrow night, The Horse and the Boy from C.S. Lewis. Hopefully people are nice and it's fun and we make friends, and the workshops and all the speeches, lectures, all of that will be really good. Okay. Well, I guess we're done. We'll just cut and go to the next scene.
Okay.
look so tired.
I know, me too.
It's been a long few days. We weren't able to record last night because we got back to our friend's house super late.
Yes.
Like midnight late, which is not safe. Don't do that in DC if you can, but we didn't have a choice, really.
Yeah, because we got back really late, it's because we were actually at a musical with the Horse and His Boy, and it went later than we thought, and so we weren't able to make a vlog from what our experiences were yesterday. So we're gonna make another one this evening. We're gonna talk about the festival that we're gonna go to today and the festival that we went to yesterday, and we'll cover all those details.
Yes, we'll get to that. Right now, second day of festival. Here we come. Okay,
Hey!
it's day 3, and we were not able to record our time at day 1 and day 2, vlogging in and talking about it and stuff, because we were late again back at my friend's house. It was like 9 o'clock, and people were already going to sleep and stuff, and we didn't want to bug them, so we weren't able to talk about it. So tonight, we'll talk about our whole experience with the festival. Yeah, today is day 3, and there's a couple more film screenings happening this morning. Alyssa has her film that's being shown at 9 a.m. today, and then that she composed for. And then we have our awards ceremony. Okay, well, we'll talk to you guys later, hopefully.
Right.
Tonight,
Bye.
this afternoon, because we need to talk about everything, because there's a lot that's happened and a lot of things to say. So hopefully we'll get to that today. If not, we'll do it tomorrow, I guess. So it's been 3 days since we did this kind of vlog, because every single night we had something going on. And now it is Saturday night, and we're gonna go back home tomorrow. So we have a lot to catch up on. Where do we even start?
Our overall thoughts is it's in a city, it's at a museum, and it was also an inaugural year of this festival, which is the Christian World Arts Festival. And it was just very small. There weren't a lot of people there. There was probably about, would you say, 30 filmmakers maybe from the Logos Theater. So it was very, very small networking wise. It was just a lot of newer people, and also there was some big seasonal professionals there. So it was basically people were really established and then people just starting out. So it was this huge chasm. It was a really small festival, and I liked it that it was very small, intimate. I didn't feel like, you were a number. Pretty much you'd run into the same people. You could talk to people over and over again for all the 3 days.
Again, it's the only Christian festival with stage and film, and that's super unique, because I really don't think there's anything like that in America. So it was really great to be able to run into people who just do theater or just do film or also do both combined. And it was very encouraging, because there's a lot of times where I go to festivals and I meet people that have never done theater in their life and they don't see the point in theater. And then on the flip side of that, I would go to theater stuff, and people would just deny film and only stick with theater. There seems to be these two extremes, and so it was so great to meet people who love both and respect both platforms, and that was really refreshing. The hard part is that, like Alyssa said, it felt like, unless I just ran into the wrong people, but it felt like majority of the people attending were from the Academy of Arts or the theater that put on the production for The Horse and His Boy. Everyone seemed to know everybody. And it was just really hard to make connections that way, because you could tell, even with just some small talk and some small conversations, that they're not really there to network or to get to know you or to just learn about the film industry as a whole. Like, they were just there because their production was playing there, you know, and they're part of that, so they're gonna be part of the festival too, and like they're gonna have fun and enjoy it, and that's that, you know. So you can tell that there was a different mindset, and there were very few that were like us, going there to network, to meet people, to, you know, just to do the normal things you do for a film festival. And unfortunately, also in that group, there's even a smaller group of people that know what they're doing. Like Alyssa said, a lot of those people that were there to network are very new at this film industry thing. And there's a lot of them that told me that they were so surprised that people like us were so willing just to walk up to you and just say, "Hi, how you doing? What's your name? What do you do?" Just being very friendly. They were just so taken back by that. They just weren't used to that kind of approach and atmosphere. So it's just hard. It's just hard that you're one of those few and nobody else is like receiving that back. I don't know how to explain it, but there just seemed to be this communication barrier.
There's a couple people I met at the festival too. I was in a cinematography class, and this one the teacher actually was teaching the session. I was asking people, "Hey, how many people in this room are full-time people?" And there were only like 3 people that raised their hands. And then after that, it's like, "Hey, is anyone in between?" There was like maybe a couple people rose their hands. "Hey, anyone who's just new starting out?" And it's like almost the whole room just raised their hands. And then there's this one woman's like, "Well, actually, I'm just a film enthusiast. I just love watching movies." And that's what I'm
sure
here.
There were some people like that.
So it was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, it was just, so that's kind of, you know, it kind of gives you a vibe of what this festival's like. I'm sure by next year it'll probably be different. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be more well known. I heard there's going to be more, from what I've been told by some of the people that organized the event. They told me that there's going to be way more bigger speakers coming.
The festival was located in the Museum of the Bible, which is pretty cool. And we literally stayed in one room. Like the whole Thursday. We just stayed in one room besides like lunchtime.
It's like, which is kind of nice because then you don't get lost, you know where you're going. But if you're doing a vlog, for example, like what we're doing here,
there's nothing to like.
There's no B-roll. There's nothing like, oh, here's the building, here it is again, here's the room again, guys. It's a different talk, but the same buildings.
And then they would have like 15-minute breaks in between each session.
And some of them were even 10 minutes.
Or just 10 minutes. And so it was really, really hard to talk to people. And even on lunch break, it was an hour and 15 minutes, which is pretty typical too. But it was still hard.
It was in the Manor Restaurant, and the Manor Restaurant, also the other Museum of the Bible people that just came to the museum that day that were not part of the festival, they were also in there too eating. So I was looking for people with the lanyards that we're wearing. But yeah, it's like, and then I'll be like, oh, there's some people from the festival to sit with. But it's kind of hard to like tell like who can I network with, because you got all these other tourists that are eating.
There's a lot of people,
restaurant.
That are just there for the Museum of the Bible, and so you have to look at we have a little card thing, and basically that's how you look for, okay, who's with the festival, you know, who's going to the festival.
So CWAF on the lanyard, it has your name tag on it. Guys, lunch at the Museum of the Bible is very pricey for what it is. It is like cheap food.
Literally, I got a pizza and a water bottle, and it was like $25 or something. I was like, for these 2 items? Now, this is from me coming from Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is way cheaper than majority of states. So for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I might as well just not eat at all. Like, this is a lot of money to spend on. So the people that led the whole festival was Noah and Nicole. I've never heard of them. I haven't even met them yet still. But they are fantastic.
They're amazing.
They seem like amazing, amazing people. Like, I had no idea who they were, but by the end of this festival, I was like, I want to meet with them. I want to talk to them. They seem like incredible, talented artists and people. And Noah, he did the opening sequence and talked about the festival and what they hope for the festival. They hope that even though it's starting out small, they hope that they'll be able to do this for years and years to come, and that it will grow bigger and bigger and bigger, where artists can support not only film but also stage. And of course, if it doesn't, then they're fine with that too. They're just doing what God tells them to do, just take it one step at a time, kind of a deal. What really surprises me, I've never been to a festival that performs for you.
Oh, I know. Okay, that took me, like, I was shocked at the beginning. That was like the opening. Oh yeah, so at the very opening, this was really cool too. They had us sing hymns. It was all traditional hymns. It wasn't like Christian contemporary music.
Yes.
And it felt like it really felt like church to me even more. And it was really
Oh,
beautiful.
really? I'm not used to
I liked
that.
it. Yeah, it's beautiful. And they had a harp in the beginning too when you came in and sat down. I thought that was a really
Very
beautiful
beautiful.
ambience.
Yeah.
They had this choir come up on stage and they would sing. It was like this opening, almost this opening act in a musical or something, but it was so good.
One of the hosts, he was conducting. Did you see that?
I did.
Like,
yeah.
it felt like I was doing rehearsal. I felt like I was
Yes.
doing rehearsal. Like I was a part of rehearsal for our musical that's coming up. Because he kept doing this, and then he would silence everybody doing this, and then quiet down, like like
crescendo,
crescendo. Like it was so funny. I was like, I feel like I'm not at a festival anymore. I feel like I'm here for rehearsal. So that was really
great.
cool. That's very different, but you can tell it felt like it would enforce the fact that this is not a film festival. This is a festival for theater and film. And if you don't know that, now you know.
Yeah.
And then we had Nicole do her little lecture called The Ultimate Director. And that was amazing.
So good. Okay. So one thing that was kind of surprising me was I thought it was going to be all about directing, and I found out it was because of it's God is the ultimate director. And that's why she named her title that. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's just so amazing, like what she would talk about and how that in order to be a good director, you need to actually become an actor, an actress, and really learn how to be directed before you become a leader and before you become a director. And and also learning and being educated about everything else that's a part of not just the crew or a part of the stage. You got, in order to be a good director, you have to be very educated and immersed in everything before you're like, hey, I want to be a director, I want to be a leader. I mean, I guess it's like wanting to be a conductor in an orchestra. You have to play in an orchestra first, probably, as a musician.
Was mind-blowing. Like, I don't know how else to, like, again, I did not know who Noah and Nicole were at all. And after listening to them these last couple of days, like, I'm just like, especially with Nicole as a woman, like, this might sound extreme and passionate, but she's like the embodiment of what I wish I could be.
Yeah.
Because of her, like, her passion and her genuineness is just through the roof. And how she speaks, it's so eloquent. And it comes from the heart. It's very heartful. And her creativity and her attention to not just only the big picture, but also the details. That's incredible.
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is a conqueror. And he will draw all men into himself, and he's going to use us. He has been using us. In whatever field, whatever quiet corner of the world you've been in, he has been shining his light through you. Be encouraged at this festival. Be encouraged.
Yeah, and someone who can actually, create a theatrical production, but think of it as like a filmmaker and make it cinematic and be like, okay, the music needs to come in and then fades out here. And this is the part when, people come out on the stage and this moment here, it grows really big in the music. This is when this happens. And it's like, I love it how she crafts everything around the music. And everything is very imagery and everything. We'll get into that more too with the whole musical, but
She literally said in theater, the audience eye is the camera.
Yeah.
Because she thinks when she does theater, when she is creating the play and blocking it and all these different things, she still thinks in a film director's mindset.
Yes.
And it shows greatly when we went to go see The Horse and Spoil. We'll get to that. But it was so obvious what's great about her also is that she's not all talk. She puts actions into her words. She means what she says.
Mm-hmm. And another thing too is her voice. And I'm not just talking about her singing voice. She has a beautiful singing voice, but she has this deep, just strong voice that not a lot of women are gifted with.
Yeah.
And she's very commanding. Like she's just, she did, on her last day here on Saturday, she did a reading of the David and Goliath story. And it was so powerful how she acted it and how her voice would inflex. There's all these inflections in her voice. It's very quiet and then it grow really big and dramatic. And she would act out the lines of what Goliath would say and then what David would say or whatever. And it's just so much animation.
And there came out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits in a span. And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass, and he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders, and the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron, and he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, Why have ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants of Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me.
And also when she was doing her first demonstration and session on Thursday, every single time when she was talking about things, it was almost like as if she memorized lines. It's like she was acting it out on stage. Remember she was like telling us everything about being the ultimate director? But she was like, the way she was like projecting her voice was just so almost like poetic and very almost like acting like stage theater acting. And it was like she was giving us a presentation and telling us, valuable information, but it was just so animated. And I really look up to someone like that. I just like, I'm a composer, but I look up to people like that because that's someone who I even want to emulate too.
And she was in a school play and it was awful. And my dad was very upset about it in the car on the way home. And he said, these kids, and it was so bad, and this and that. And my mom said, well, Nikki, it's your fault. And he said, why is it my fault? I had nothing to do with it. And she said, well, you're a musician, you're an artist, you are a dramatist, you are a preacher. You could be writing great things for young people, but you're not. So if you would like to see your children continue to do this kind of thing, then you just sit back and watch it, or you can begin to write things for children to be able to produce that are actually deep and meaningful. And so he said he hit that steering wheel and he said, by cracky, I'm going to do it.
She has a very unique low voice. And something else I can relate to her, because I actually have a really low voice, but I make my voice higher to make it seem nicer. So it's very interesting to hear her voice, and I'm like, she doesn't change her voice. That's her voice, and she sticks with it, and she's not going to change it. And it's genuine. If it sounds darker, who cares? Like, it's just really nice to see a woman that has a naturally low voice and doesn't change that voice for anybody. That's a personal thing for me. But she has a very commanding presence, not just with the voice, because the darker voices naturally have this more commanding presence to it, but also her body language and how she presents herself. And her eyes are just very sharp, and they just take in everything. And her mind, you could tell her mind's constantly working. Yeah, she's just incredible woman.
So it's so detail oriented.
Yeah.
Like you could see it in the productions that she makes. I mean, with everything with Logos Theater, it's rivaling Broadway in my opinion.
So then we had Bill Reeves spoke, and he is the CEO of Educational Media Foundation, and he was great. I really liked to hear him talk, and there's a lot of things that he talked about that. I was like, yeah, like that. I really feel that. I really get that. I like I'm going through that right now. For example, something that really stood out to me that he said was how if you're not established in this industry, it is really, really hard to get in.
It is.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
And for some reason that really hit me because I was like, I've been doing this for 4 years now. And of course there was college. I had college the first 2 years, and then COVID hit, so it was even harder to like do anything. And now, you know, finally getting back into the run of things, like, yeah, it's really difficult because unfortunately there are cliquey groups in the Christian film industry, like in any industry, any community, there are cliques.
Yes.
And if you don't fit in their mold or their vibe or whatever, then you just don't. And that can be very disheartening.
Nobody's brought up something really interesting, but it was about that we should be only working with people that we know, or work with people who we have mutual friends with, or work with people who are Christians only, and not surround yourself with secular, you know, people who are non-believers in your crew and in your cast. Yeah, here's the thing, like, a lot of people are like, people are debating on that, like, oh, should you do full, like, crew, everyone, all Christians, believers? I know the Kendrick brothers, some of them in the past, for the past films, they've done like 75% Christians and then 25% non-believers, you know, hiring different people from outsiders to come in and work for them. I mean, I'm kind of open to both ideas. I mean, I think it's fine to work with non-believers too. I mean, but maybe at least have the director be, you know, the writer, of course the writer, and then, you know, other people, they need to, if it's a Christian movie, they need to have a Christian writer, obviously, so it'd be a Christian story.
So the last lecture of Thursday was Karen. How do you even say that last name? Karen
Abercrombie.
Abercrombie. And she is an actress. The only thing I know about her is that she was the old grandma in War Room from the Kendrick Brothers movie. That's all I know about her. Yeah, the lecture wasn't for me, but some people loved it. There were some people that were crying in that room. Like there was people there that really got her message and it really touched their hearts, and that's awesome. Not every lecture is for everybody, so she did great. I can see why she played the old lady in War Room because she really fits that part. I can see why she's typecast because you feel the power and you feel the energy, you know, and you can tell that she loves what she does and she loves the Lord.
And closing announcements, I think, did we sing some hymns or something at the end?
Yeah, we sang some hymns, and then they were like, okay, come back tomorrow at this time. We went to go get dinner afterwards, and then we came back for not the musical. We came back for the play. It felt like a musical. I can see where people thought it was a musical because there was, well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, play review. Yeah, and then afterwards we said good job to some of the cast members, and then we had to get home, and at that point it was like 10:30 at that point. But yeah, that was the first day. So the first day was cool because the first day was all about lectures. The second day it was broken up into two things. First half of the day was workshops and classes. The second half of the day was screenings. So we started to finally do festival screenings. Nicole did a part 2 of the Ultimate Director. So she was answering people's questions, and so we both went to different workshops on Friday that morning. So I went to Nicole's script writing for stage and film, and that was really great. So basically she and a co-writer of hers sat down and basically talked about writing. But one thing that stood out to me was Nicole being so willing to show emotion. She will openly cry in front of you. She was talking about her dad's passing. Someone asked a question about I forgot something about scenes, like how to write emotional scenes, and she started talking about how it's really frustrating how a lot of, especially Christian films, they'll have like death scenes, you know, and the writing and the characters will be like screaming and agony and like all these different things, like tears pouring and all these things. And she was like, it's not like that. It might be like that for you, but it wasn't like that for me. And so she started talking about her father's passing, and she openly just wept in front of everybody while she was talking about her dad's passing. And the way she told it was so powerful. She's a great speaker, like a fantastic speaker. And and she talked about how when she felt her dad passed, I believe she sat on the couch and she just paused and just wasn't, I think she was just taking in all the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like this open, loud weeping and wailing. It was just like sitting there. It hits her and she starts weeping, you know, and there's nothing to say. And she was talking about how we need to write how we experience life. We are literally human beings. We know how to experience things. We see and observe and taste and hear and feel and all these things. So we should use that and put that into our writing to make it realistic. And that can be true for anything, whether it's from comedy all the way to very emotional, hard moments.
Yeah, so it was called Surviving and Thriving on a Film Set. And this class was more catered towards people just starting out and wanting to know about, like, you know, what is it like being on a film set, like what, you know, what to do and how to make it successful and not stressful. So find a group, find your friends, and talk to friends of friends. So basically, like, if you want to, you know, make a movie, talk to your friends or find out from your filmmaker friends, you know, try to get to know all the people that they trust so that way you can build a good, you know, crew. Try not to get involved with filmmakers who have no mutual friends with you. And I mean, that's probably true because you never know, you know, you might end up, you know, hiring someone that's a complete monster or somebody who's not good to work with, and it's just bad because, you know, there's no one to, you can't ask anyone, hey, what is this person like? Also, be willing to volunteer and work for free at the very beginning of your career, even though you're like, hey, you know, I want to make money and stuff. Yeah, sometimes I even fall in that sometimes where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to, you know, make money right off the bat. It's like, no, you gotta just, we still need to gain experience.
You need to have a resume.
You need a resume.
And a reel of some kind to show your work.
Stay in your own lane. Ask the department heads for permission. So, like, for example, like, let's say I'm a script supervisor on this project. I wouldn't want to, like, try to go over and, you know, operate a camera because that's not my part of my department that I'm working in. You know, always ask for permission even to help. You know, if you're gonna, you know, ask for permission to help, because what happened is this guy Ben was telling us a story that one of the production assistants on one of his sets was like, they saw trash on the ground all over the set, and they were like, oh wow, this is really messy. I need to go clean this up. And it was actually supposed to be a hot set where the whole scene was supposed to be messy for the particular scene that they were filming in this movie. And so they had to do a lot of work to make it messy all over again. So always ask, never assume. And get to know the script. Yeah, you don't want to just show up on set and be like, okay, here I am. I don't know what the story is, but I'm here.
So I went to, we didn't talk about the puppets at all when we talked about, the puppets is the main special event for this play, and we didn't even talk about, I'm so sorry, we'll talk about it now. So, so I went to, so anyways, that was a great workshop. I had a lot of fun with that, even if I had no idea how any of that worked. I loved learning about it.
So first part of the class, you kind of was more talking and kind of giving a little bit more of like a lecture, but it was very short. And then we went into more of a sort of like a workshop, masterclass, hands-on kind of thing. And people who were sitting in the audience got to come up, and we had an actress that stood, and they were filming her. She stood in one place while we had one person working the lighting. You know, they could move around to help shift shadows, and they were showing all the different like tripods and, you know, all the different, you know, things you can use, like he was showing us all the different type of cameras you could use, like a big long, like a jig, I think was one, and there's like all these, I forgot all the terminology for all of them, but
there's a lot of terminology.
There's a lot of that. He was showing us all the different ones you could use, and then he was also showing how lighting affects storytelling and how certain lighting could be warm and certain lighting could be makes a scene very ominous or mysterious or sad or whatever. Super good class, and I do remember most of it, so memorable class. He was a really good teacher, in my opinion. So he was really good.
So then we had lunch. So all the lectures and workshops and classes, they were officially done for the rest of the festival. From now on, it was film screenings. And what's funny is that we had lunch late, and so we were like, oh, we better get going. So we had to like quickly like get up and go. We went into the room. We found the room that my doc was being screened in, and literally right as I sat down, I said, okay, the next one is the redemption of Christian filmmaking.
I was like, no way.
If you are the director or a part of it, will you please stand up? And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, hi, I'm here. I just got here. And they're like, great, we're so glad you made it. It's like, yes, great. It seemed like people received it really well. People actually laughed at my doc. I was really surprised. I guess it was funny.
I noticed that.
I love it when people laugh, but I was like, was that funny? I'm not sure. I've seen it so many times now that it's like, I don't even know what's funny or what's good or what is anymore. It seemed like it was really well received because there was a big applause at the end.
Yes.
And for some reason I got a little emotional. I don't know why. For some reason I just started getting a little teary. Just probably because, you know, I'm sure everybody gets it who are filmmakers, but when you work so hard on a project and you finally get to show it and people applaud it and seem to really enjoy it, it really like touches you.
It does.
It's just like, wow, I don't know any of these people, but they really liked it and they were inspired, and I'm so happy. And then we had to get up quickly to go to a friend's, her short film. So we had to get up right after mine to go to hers. And as I was walking out, there was a lot of people that stopped me and said, I loved your doc and such a good job, fist bumps, that kind of thing. I didn't see a ton of films this festival because I wanted to tour Museum of the Bible while it was still open because they close at 5 and the festival ends at 5. So it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like you got to pick and choose.
I'm glad we broke it up between the 2 days because there's no way we would have seen the whole museum.
Yeah, there was no way.
No way.
There was no way. So I'm really glad we did that. And they had closing. We did a little worship, prayer, and then that was done for the day. Yeah. And then we got invited to eat with the Brainy Pixel guys. Hello, I'm sure you're watching.
Yeah.
So Brainy Pickle.
Yeah, guys, you gotta change your name to Brainy Pickle now, not Brainy Pixel.
New name! I'm so sorry. They invited us to have dinner with them. So we all went to a restaurant and we just ate and just chatted for a very, very long time. And it was really good. So we stayed with them from like 5 to 9 o'clock that night. But we're both so glad we did because it was just a great conversation. Again, festivals are meant to connect and network. That's what they're meant for. And we did that. We did accomplish that goal. So then it's Saturday, so the third day. So today we're finally catching up. So Saturday again was just, the morning was film screenings again, and then 12 o'clock was award ceremony. So when we got there, we first went to True North. So she composed for a film, so we went to go see that. And I think it went pretty well. It
really went really well.
There wasn't a lot of people in there, though.
Yeah, because it was early morning. It was like the first movie playing, so...
And also the monitors...
They're really dark.
For all the films I went to go see, the monitors were really dark and were kind of just pixelated weird sometimes, too.
Like, if, for example, if something moved over the other monitor and went to the other one, it would kind of get delayed a little bit.
Yeah. Then we had the award ceremony, and I'm still upset. We brought dresses. We brought fancy outfits, and like hardly anyone wore anything fancy.
No, yeah.
It was so casual, and I was like, why did I bring this dress and these high heels when...
I know, we wore just basically, like, I wore like a nice blouse and black pants, and...
I wore this.
Yes.
Like, some people had like church wear, you know, and then other people were like really casual.
And this is a couple people that are really fancy.
Yeah, there was one girl that had a nice sparkly gown, but otherwise I was like, this is nothing like ICFF. No. So we had the award ceremony, and it was kind of awkward. I could tell they were trying to figure out how to even run the award ceremony. Yeah. So there was some awkwardness with it. And also, before or during the award ceremony, they also had more performances for us to watch. So, for example, like, they had a lot of people come up and, like, sing more songs. They had a solo song that was beautiful. Yeah. It sounded like an authentic Broadway song. I was shocked at
it. Beautiful. I think it was her father that wrote it.
Yes, it was her father that wrote it.
I ask for more. Is enough for every need. Is enough for every The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. afraid, though the task be small. I will trust in thee alone and give my all.
And then Nicole,
Yeah.
she did a whole
Wow.
like Shakespearean monologue, but from the Bible. Just so incredible. Like it was like felt like she was like proving a point. Like you can make something incredible out of the Bible. You can make something so creative and so inspiring from the Bible.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Like,
So amazing. It was-
see, you can actually do art with, scripture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. There's nothing
Yeah.
evil about it.
Nope. Nope.
And it inspires people and want people to delve into scripture and God's word.
And then basically the festival was done.
And all of you, thank you for being here and being a part of this. We are
Thank you so
excited
much.
for what God has done. Praise be to God, great things He has done. Let's pray. Father, thank you.
We all were like trying to like say goodbye to people and it was kind of sad. I always feel sad after a festival. It's
Yeah,
just like,
me
okay,
too.
I don't know when I'm gonna see you again.
I
but
know, it's
it
like
was
you make all
nice.
these new friends. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, how are we gonna like get together unless we do like a Zoom meeting or something,
Yeah.
we'll hang out or something.
I started off the festival feeling pretty like disheartened because it felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with anybody.
Yeah, me too.
And I kept meeting people that didn't really care to network or get to know you. And then finally by the end I felt like, okay, I did make a handful of connections.
Yes.
I did meet people. I did, I did put my stamp on this. I did try. Then we did Museum of the Bible. The first time we did it yesterday, we did the first and second floor. And then today we looked at the third and fourth floor. It's cool. But
It's not the Spy Museum.
no. No, unfortunately, I think we got spoiled with the Spy Museum.
Yes, we
'cause
did.
The Spy Museum was out of this world, to be honest, and unfortunately, the Museum of the Bible kind of just
It was miles below it.
yeah. It was cool to like see like things from the past and like they have all these little trinkets and items. There's like one museum where it has so many Bibles, like just Bible on top of Bible on top of Bible. There's Bibles everywhere. I felt overwhelmed by all the Bibles. There's like this little tour room of like science, and talking about space and time and all those things. And they have all these like cool little puzzles and videos and things to like teach you and to educate you on the Bible and science or something else like that.
Is green a good thing?
Agree's a good thing.
Okay.
Live in an area where you could take a bus or your family's car to work, school.
I drive myself.
I'll drive myself. Oh no!
Oh no! You are a terrible person. I'm a terrible person. Oh no. What is this? Are you doing dinner?
This is in Belfast, Ireland. It's a Catholic family.
I feel like there's humans here, but it's like
I know.
invisible.
Creepy.
It's like we're sitting in on a conversation. Oh, she got a phone. Weird. Oh, the
It's all
food's
blurry now.
gone.
Now it's back.
It's back. Okay.
This is in Egypt.
This is in Egypt.
It's a Coptic family, Christian family.
Ah, they're in different cultures. Sorry, this is not a biblical name in modern use. No.
Mine's not either. Nope.
We're both
We're
unbiblical.
both unbiblical.
That's funny.
After we did all that, they were closing. It was like almost
Oh, yeah,
5
it was like
o'clock
5
at that
o'clock,
point.
yeah.
So we weren't able to go through the rest of the museum, which is okay. We were already
We saw the
talking.
majority of it.
Yeah, we
pretty
saw the
much.
majority of it, and we were already really tired at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were exhausted with this whole week, and so then we got dinner. We came back here, and we've been chilling ever since.
Yeah, yep.
So overall, what are your opinions on this week and the festival?
Very busy. I'm exhausted, but it was worthwhile. I feel very enlightened, especially in the theater world. I think of definitely a newfound interest in it.
Theater is such a big part of people's lives, and it's a big medium. It's a big platform for art, and there's very little Christian content within theater compared to film. I'm very excited and thankful and so just overjoyed that this festival wants to change
Yes.
that Nicole and Noah and other people want to change that. We want to make this platform bigger in the Christian space, in the Christian arts.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's going to happen if God allows it to, because theater is an amazing thing. That theater can do things that film cannot. So yeah, we're both so thankful for this festival, for Nicole and Noah, and others that have been a part of this to create this festival. Yeah, we're just so grateful and thankful for you guys. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, for setting it up.
For setting it up.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. We really appreciate it.
Did they say it was like 15 years in the making or something like that?
Yeah, they said it's been a long time in the making, and so for it to finally happen and for us to be a part of it, that's awesome. Well, this is our last day here. Tomorrow we're leaving. Tomorrow night we're gonna go back to our hometowns. But yeah, we're gonna head home now.
Sleep in some of these like makeshift beds that they have.
Gosh. You work here, you know what I mean?
Back to this again.
Yeah, we're leaving DC now. Feels like we just got here and now we're leaving.
We're leaving. It's been a fun trip. I feel like it's been a very rewarding trip, and we got everything in we kind of wanted to see, and I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, same. Hopefully we can come back again
Yes.
soon.
Doors opening. Step back.
Bye. Bye. My first vlog of doing this whole like going to film festivals type of vlog. I'm not sure what I would call it. But I think my first vlog went well, and hopefully all of you that are watching are encouraged and inspired by this. We shall see if I will do this again because it's just not natural for me to pick up a camera and just record stuff and take pictures of things. That's not how my brain works. But I hope that it will be encouraging towards anybody who needs to see these kinds of festivals. So, until next time, I guess. Maybe. Hopefully, we shall see. Take care.
I feel like I'm talking about myself too much.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the Brainy Pixels. I'm sorry. I can't get over that. Oh. Sorry.
We'll definitely edit this out.
Keep
Whole
going.
thing out.
Keep going.
It's okay. I know. I can't stop. I can't stop thinking about you, Brainy Pickle. Like, yes, you guys need to change your name to Brainy Pickle instead of Brainy Pixel.
I'm so sorry.
And it's gonna be like, you know, like Veggie Tales. It's basically
it's
Larry the
Veggie
Cucumber.
Tales. Yeah.
Larry the Cucumber got pickled, so it's Brainy Pickle.
Let's move on.